Hey now, welcome to another edition of Refreshing Thoughts. I am Chris Fresh, and I am probably here to talk toys, and that's certainly what I'm going to do today. How's the new intro video? Look, he doesn't want credit, but that Horde World, who you've heard me talk about on here, um, I think was getting sick of me talking about Todd McFarlane's Mortal Kombat stuff, completely bored by my content, and thought, bugger it, I'll make a video about his show instead of actually watching it. And thank God that he did, because instead of my static bouncy image, which my technical abilities could only manage to figure out, he made me a video that actually blew me away. And it's got the mighty Shine, where you can find the Shine worldwide, on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, where you find all good rock and roll. But anyway, I don't want to bang on about it, but I was blown away by it. Watch it. There's so many funny little things in there, and keep an eye out for Skeletor's dick nose. Truly disturbing. But speaking of disturbing, we are all collectors. I assume that's why you're watching me. And we all have various degrees of addiction when it comes to collecting. I have a terrible addiction. But I am surrounded by things I love. And a new I don't know how new it is. I thought it was new until I started getting some images for the episode, and I'm questioning when this started seeping through. But as I was growing up, I had and have maintained a pretty hardline stance on certain toy lines and properties that I don't like. And there's usually it works within when I became a teenager and what little kids were into. I will usually take a giant shit on. I am notorious for ragging on the Power Rangers, calling Mighty Max Polly Pocket for boys. And yes, I understand the gender lines and everything, but listen, in the 80s, it was a different time. And no self respecting boy from West Heidelberg could be seen walking into the glowing pink girls' toy section at Toy World or Zigzag. You just couldn't. I'd get beaten up. It's just how it was. I'm glad things have improved. And my son Hunter, he asked for a My Little Pony once, and I got him one, and it was cool. Like, I've got She-Ra toys, awesome. But in the 80s, not so awesome. And I bag on Mighty Max. You know, Oh, Space Jam. Don't get me started on Space Jam. Like, who could possibly care? Are real monsters, garbage. You know, Never watched an episode of Darkwing Duck in my life. Animaniacs, here it's great. Never watched it. Too busy watching X-Men. Too busy watching Spider-Man, the animated series, or I Am Iron Man. All of that stuff was great. Samurai Pizza Cats. I was watching that in the 90s. That's what I was watching. And along with being a shithead about those properties, I would rail on the toys, particularly the Power Rangers. I took great pleasure in pointing out it's fake Voltron. Like Voltron did it first and did it best, which would inevitably get me lectured on the history of this style in Japan. And I didn't care. I'd ignore it. I talk about the horrible movie where they're roller skating through Sydney at the start. It's the only bit of the movie that I've actually made it through. I probably talk about how I wanted to bone Rita Repulsa. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. But I always did appreciate the Megazord of being cool. Combining dinosaurs into a giant robot. Even I cannot deny the coolness of that. But playing the flute and stuff, it wasn't for me. And then, I soften as time goes on. And, I start, appreciating that a younger generation have something that they appreciate. And I do have fond memories of wanting to hunt for toys and needing to sort of find my nephew I absolutely just paused recording because I had to go run and do something. But I was talking about my nephew for Christmas. I had to hunt him one year. The Green Ranger is what he wanted, and I took great pleasure in that hunt. It was maybe one of the first times that the hunt really got me. I would have been 14 years old, and I went into Daimaru, which was a Japanese retailer in Melbourne Central, which had just sort of been redone and reopened. I think it's called the Emporium now. Never go in there. But anyway, finding the Green Ranger and stuff, it was so exciting. And but you know, the Power Rangers has never really been my thing. I've tried giving it a go, and I guess without the nostalgia, it doesn't really hit me. But something weird happened in Kmart last night. And I was in Kmart Baronia. Lots of weird things probably happened in Kmart Baronia last night. But I went down the toy section and I stopped and I turned and I saw this. I saw this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition Power Ranger. It's the green one, the one I remember getting. And I picked it up and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, yeah, it's open here. So I was sort of poking here and sort of wasn't doing anything. And I was like, lame. And then saw it was open at the back. And I went, boom. I went, cool. Kind of like this dude. It's a real shame that he's no longer with us. It seemed like he was really good at comms and stuff like that. Jason David Frank, is it? I think that's his name. I apologize if I've got it wrong. And then I did it again. I was like, that's kind of cool. He's got his accessories. He's got his this, and bang, I did that again. And I was looking, and I was like, And I filmed a short clip that if you follow me on social media at Refreshing Thoughts Refreshing Thoughts Pod on Instagram, or at Chris Fresh, you would have seen me post about this. And I was looking at that, and they had the Zoids. I think they're called Zords. I think Zoids was a different property. But anyway, had the Liger and the thing, and I remember that cartoon. Anyway, I was like, I wouldn't mind getting a Megazord. Got to have one on display. I've always toyed with the idea of getting a vintage Megazord, but sort of been of a theory that I'm sure it's pricey and it's not my nostalgia. Now, Voltron, as you can see him over there. Apologize for my creased Superman shirt, but I just got out of the washing basket. It's clean. It's the clean washing basket. It needs to be folded and put away. Voltron's my jam, but not that. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm not into this. And I walked off. Walked away. Just walk away, Renee. I bet you're not going to get a lot of Rick Price on your toy tubers channels. But anyway, I walked away. And I think that's Rick Price. Also does Hold Me in Your Arms. Look, you're not here for me to sing either, so I digress. I was wandering around and I found myself and I went back. And then I got into I don't want the one I was just playing with because I've played with it. And this other one's too close to the front, so I dug through and there was another one. It'd be funny if it broke. And I was like, this is cool. I bought it, as you can see. I bought it. And I kind of like it. Now, I don't really care about the others. But I think I'm going to get the Megazord. I'm going to get all the pieces. You watch, I won't be able to find them. But I think I'm going to get a Megazord. And then it got me thinking about my toy collecting and things I like and what I don't like. And why would I collect something I don't like? And then it got me thinking of maybe this isn't so new. As you can see, we have in this photo, obviously this Ranger means something to me because I've got multiple figures of him. I don't even recall getting them. I've got Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers, and it's Mr. T on the left, and it's Leonardo there. I love them. And a Biker Mice from Mars, another property I was not into. And over time in my collecting, I obviously felt the need to have representation of these characters in my toy collection. And it's a really weird thing. Like, why am I nostalgic for something I didn't collect? Like, it's really odd, but like that's my odd bods sort of shelf over there. And it sort of it led me to other weird things that I've added to my collection. Um, so you know, it's Earthworm Jim. Like, that is weird. Like, why did I feel the need? Oh, look, I'm mucking around with my layout. Oh, look, I'm small and Earthworm Jim's big. You probably want to see that rather than see a big me. Like, I enjoyed the cartoon Earthworm Jim, a bit like the Tick. I always thought it was a bit of a Tick rip off the cartoon. I love the video game. Like, you heard me talk about how nostalgic I am for Sega, but like in my collection, then this in my collection, I certainly was not collecting like the Riddler and Robin at that time. Like, I'm all for nuts, but it's strange. And that's a Clooney there that I got from the late great Darren Philcell's collection. But like, why? Like, I needed them, and like recently, I digging it out. I'm going to make me big again. Sorry, I'm getting the hang of this. Recently I got the Two-Face mint on card from Dallas Vintage Toys. Certainly not figures I collected at the time, but felt I needed it in my collection. And I sort of find that to be a strange phenomenon. It's like this Spider-Man. Like, I like Spider-Man, the Maximum series Spider-Man, but I sort of got that because it was so ridiculously priced. I wanted to talk about it on the channel. Like, it's just weird. And one thing's like, I love WWF Hasbro figures. One of the things I didn't like were action features because I didn't like my play being dictated. And I've talked about how I always wanted my figures to look like the cartoon, and I didn't like it when they didn't. Where now I'm nostalgic for toys that look like the toys, than look like the cartoon, and I use the NECA Turtles, which fantastically have mimicked the Fred Wolf cartoon. But I prefer the Super 7 souped up Playmates versions of the figures. And then it sort of took me to um, these guys, the Ghostbusters. Now, I love Egon. He's my favorite character. I'm trying to get every Egon that I can get. But why do I all of a sudden think they're cool? Where as a kid, I absolutely would not have liked them. Like, I think there's Screaming Heroes there. I'm not even sure which ones these are. I can hear you yelling at me. Yes, that's Jake the Snake Roberts pants. It's Hulk Hogan's bulge, R.I.P. But yeah, like I'd want a cartoon accurate, and I do have like the original real Ghostbusters, but it's just really strange. And it would continue on. Like, why did I need an extreme Ghostbusters Egon? I've never seen a second of the Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon, but I felt I needed that representation of Egon. And we've got Janine and Lewis Tully there. Like, it's, why am I nostalgic for stuff I wouldn't have liked? Is this something that you suffer from? Is this the condition of a collector? Like, I don't know. Like, why am I going to get that Megazord? It's going to cost me just under 200 or around the 200 mark by the time, I believe there's 5 pieces that you've got to get. 3 of them are 35 and 2 of them are 39. I think that will form you the Megazord. I could be wrong. West Heidelberg math, I'm sort of, yeah, about, just under 200. And, I guess fun. And then I'm going to stand him somewhere and I'll just be like, huh, Megazord, fuck the Power Rangers. Like, that's essentially what's going to happen. Like, but for some reason, I feel this need to get it. Do you have this problem? Like, I know, like, Hordworld probably does because that dude collects everything. But and I assume he loves everything, but then he flips a lot of stuff. And I don't want you looking at his stuff at eBay. I want first crack at it. Once I've had a pass, then you can decide whether you're buying his dollies. But yeah, I don't like. I'm not disciplined clearly at all. Like your Sean Fusters, your Ben Saxes. Shout out to my beloved Shredder 1982 Ben Sachs from the Toy Power podcast. All of those guys, like Scotty's got his Fantastic Four collection, Frank with his turtles, Trent's got a bit of everything. He's got a real problem. But like some people are disciplined, like Mitch, Dirty Uncle Mitch, Blockbuster J from Geek Dudes and Hey, it's the podcast. He would only collect Superman in the red trunks, which playing the long game, was really smart in he didn't get caught up in the new 52 and he's not nostalgic for it and doesn't have a bunch of new 52 Superman stuff. Why do I have such a problem that I have to collect things I'm not that interested in? And I tell you, there's a new phenom that I'm loving that I didn't care about before, but now it's one of my favorite parts of my collection. Allow me to introduce to you glow in the dark. Now, the ecto glows are a thing that sort of were born from Ryan Dole of Toy Anxiety and Gotham City Tonight. And we have some crew. They used to make a lot of comments about jokes about being ecto glow elite and stuff, to the point that Ghostbusters decided that they would create reproduce for toys. And my fluorescent lighting in here really charges them up, as you can see. And if you look here and over here, the two collectibles cups from the Ghostbusters 2 movie, like, they glow in the dark. I actually didn't know they glowed in the dark. And then I was looking and I was like, I feel like something's watching me, like there's little eyes. Check out this creep. I didn't realize that the plush vintage Stay Puft Marshmallow Man like glows in a really weird way. Like, look at him. Like, what's going on with him? And then he wasn't the only one watching me. Slimer Puppet was watching me. Like, he looks like he's cracked out of his mind. Like, look at him. Very creepy. Like, I'm more going to lose sleep over that. Like, what is wrong with that Marshmallow Man? Like, that's more terror, fills me with more terror than the one in the movie did. But yeah, I wasn't into glow in the dark, and now I love it. And Horde World helped feed my addiction with the Mondo soft vinyl glow in the dark scare glow. Like, how awesome is that? Look at the box. He was not going to put in the box. How could he throw out the box? Like, that's some of the coolest stuff in my collection now. And I don't even know that I'm nostalgic for that. I've just found a new appreciation for it. But yeah, it's weird. Like, just when I think I'm done, I pull myself back in. And I'm no stranger to pulling myself. Like, it's I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, I'm leaving it on that scare glow in that box because I feel you need to look at it. Look at it. Like, that is awesome. Mondo just do amazing stuff. Apart from shipping my Peter Venkman, please ship me my Peter Venkman. I emailed them going, hey, it's now September. You said you were going to ship it in August. Can I please have it? And they go, well, look, the pallet hasn't arrived yet. We can refund you if you want. It's like, no, I'm saying I do want it. Not that I want a refund. But look, their customer service is pretty awesome. No complaints here. But yeah, like, I don't know why I've got stuff that I didn't really collect before, because everything else around me is a reflection of my love. But there is no way I can say I love this, but I kind of like it. you know, like, and I guess I do have the memories of getting my nephew the Power Ranger at Christmas time from Daimaru. And I'm not sure, maybe that played into it because I love Christmas. Like, you're going to hear a lot about Christmas coming up on this channel towards in the second half of the year. But I know Digital Beard, photographer of the stars. A man so good that I entrusted him with my wedding photos, not just wrestling and bands. But he said he's a big Power Rangers fan. And he said he's not going to collect these, but it's cool that he saw them on the shelves. And I can relate to that. I said, well, every time I see wrestling stuff, it's like, not for me, but cool that it exists. And I hear a lot of people go they prefer the vintage ones, and I can understand that. But I guess I this was good enough for me. Good for you. It's good enough for me. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, do I open him or do I just leave him in card? I kind of like that I can just do it while he's in card. Yeah. Why am I enjoying that? I hate play features and I hate the Power Rangers. I I don't know what's wrong with me. Um, yeah. If you want to help this channel and help my addiction, patreon.com/C/refreshing thoughts podcast/membership. For $5 Australian a month, you can subscribe and help me get to my goal of paying for StreamYard every month. Why do I use StreamYard? It's extremely easy to use. And I'm lazy. As Hordworld will tell you, I'll just act incompetent enough till Hordworld makes something for the channel. But yeah, if you can support the show, that'd be great. And if you can't in these tough financial times, I understand. If you need to go buy yourself a head flipping Power Ranger to make yourself feel better instead of giving money to me, do it, because I support your addictions much as you support mine. Um, Thank you to the Shine as always for the intro song. Yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback. Has you bought stuff that you didn't collect, that you didn't even like, but now for some bizarre reason you are nostalgic for it or need a representation of it in your collection? Or is this just a weird me thing? Like, I know there's something wrong for me, but with me, but you could confirm it. I'd love to hear your stories. Refreshing Thoughts Pod on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well. You can, most importantly, click subscribe on my YouTube channel, click like on the video, and comment on the video itself. I would love to hear from you. My numbers have gone up, which is really encouraging. I appreciate everybody's support of the show. So sharing it on socials has been really great too. You have all been awesome and amazing. And yeah, I'm going to keep going. Thank you to my current Patreons and welcome aboard to the new ones. But look, if you can't afford to subscribe to the Patreon, at least click subscribe on the channel. That would really help me out. And yeah, to all you people that listen to me on audio, suit yourselves. Come on, come over to the video side. It's a lot more fun. You get to see my creased t-shirt and saggy face. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Chris Fresh, and I'll speak to you in a little while.